How's it going, disc golf fans? Jeremiah Russell coming at you with my bag review for all Axiom MVP Streamline. So been throwing it for about 6 months, just finished it up. So gonna come here and talk about my favorite disc in every bag slot and what I like the best. So here we go. First up, we got the pitch from Axiom. I love the pitch, just kind of fantastic, short range, straight putter. You can just kind of stand still and put a little spin on it and it pops and just glides forever. I loved it. I threw the glitch too, liked it okay, but liked the pitch a little bit better. Next, we got the Axiom Envy. So I got this sweet Shelby Cohen one that I loved and ended up throwing a bunch. So fantastic, straight pushing, kind of overstable putter slot. Absolutely love these. Next slot was the straight to understable putter. So the Axiom Proxy. This was probably my favorite throwing putter that I had. You could just kind of put it on hyzer, it'd flip up straight, go straight for forever, had a ton of glide. And also great if you put it on a lot of turn, you can get it to turn over, and this Fission Simon one was super cool. So love the Proxy, love the Envy. Last putter, which was my short overstable approach shot, which was the Electron Stabilizer from Streamline. So I threw a lot of like forehand approach discs, so like the Tempo and the Entropy, and none of them super jived with me, but I did like the Stabilizer for short shots. So I've got another disc for longer forehand approaches, but I did love the Stabilizer. What I liked is you could torque it over and it would come out. So the Tempo, if you put on a little bit of ante, it would just hold it, and then some of the Entropies were and some of them weren't, but love the Stabilizer. Fantastic overstable approach disc. Now we get into mid-ranges. First is the understable slot. So you got the MVP Detour. Love this disc. At first, I was so about it, but ended up loving it. Great for kind of hyzer flip to slow turn. You can even get some turn and it'll come back a little bit, but and if you put it hard on some ante, it'll just hold the line and they go forever. Love the Detour. Feels really good on forehand too, so got that both going for it, forehand and backhand. So next is the Hex. Absolutely love the Hex. I found this nice Eclipse one that I really liked. Super straight pushing with a little bit of fade at the end. You can hit it flat, it'll turn a little bit and then come back, but just dead straight. I also liked the R2 Hexes, or the like a beat up Neutron Hex for kind of like flip up turnover shots, but I thought the Detour done that just better. So I could see people throwing just beat up Hexes in that understable slot though. But love the Hex. Fantastic mid-range. They go forever. The best part about the Hex, if you ask me, is it feels so good on forehand. It's probably the best mid-range I felt for forehand ever that's in like the neutral slot. So love the Hex. Grab you one, get you one. Next is probably my favorite disc of all the Axiom MVP. One, it's just excellent. Two, I think I'm just in love with this bag slot, which is the slightly overstable mid-range, which was the Reactor. MVP Eclipse Reactor. The Eclipse one specifically, nice and flat, great for forehand, straight forehands pushing, and also backhand. You just put it straight and it goes forever, and then just has the stability at the end, always comes back. I threw the daylights out of this one, and I'm going to keep throwing it. Probably going to go in my forever bag. Love the MVP Reactor. Next, close second to the Reactor, was the Pyro. And I threw a bunch of Pyros, and I loved every one of them. It was my go-to for kind of forehand approach shots. So I love putting a little flex on stuff. So you can hit a Pyro hard, it's going to fight out and then come in. Great approach shot. Also good for backhand. If you want something that's going to fade a little bit harder on backhand, the Pyro is fantastic. It pushes pretty far and then dies out. And I got this OTB one, which is the Proton Soft, that feels fantastic. Love it. So Pyro, love it. And as far as their mid-ranges go, so MVP, if not the best, maybe the second best at Discraft as far as like the best mid-ranges in the game. That's the reason to throw MVP, if you ask me, is their mid-ranges are fantastic, bar none. Excellent. And the uplink is another one. I love the uplink. I love the paradox. So just all of them are fantastic mid-range. So going on to fairways, first up is kind of a little trick shot disc, is the MVP Signal. I say that because it is super flippy, great for steep hyzer flip, late turns. You can get some crazy flights out of it. I loved throwing them on forehand, on hyzers, and watch them flip all the way up and then turn all the way over. You could get some insane lines with it. So if you haven't thrown a signal, I recommend it to anyone who has lower arm speed, kids, women, older people. Great disc. They go super far. And then also just a fun disc to have in your bag. So love the signal. Great understable fairway. Next was the disc that I found out that I really loved, which was the MVP Impulse. This is like a super flippy 9-speed. Not super flippy. It's like a Roadrunner. So it's equivalent to their Roadrunner. Great for backhand flip up to turn shots or just long turnovers. I loved the Impulse, threw it a ton, and would highly recommend for, you know, backhand turnovers or hyzer flip into the woods. So we're in Tennessee. We got a lot of woods around here. I threw the Impulse a ton. Next, probably number 3 on my favorite disc from them was the Crave. So I had 2 of them that I really liked. And first I got the Eclipse one here, which kind of flew like an eagle or like a stable leopard. It's just kind of straight pushing disc that just goes forever. You can hit these kind of hard and they just go straight. You can even put a little bit of flex on them if you throw them pretty hard. So, and then I also had a R2 Crave that I use for hyzer flips to turn, slow turning shots. And I just absolutely love the Craves. Both of them felt so good. Like I said, this is like an Eagle and this is like an Eagle L. So, love the Craves. Have to have some as advertised, for sure. Next disc probably surprised me more than anything was the Insanity. This was a workhorse for me. It's just kind of dead straight 9-speed. So it's 9.5, -2, 1.5. And they just fly super straight. So you can just hit them flat. They just go straight and glide for a long time. They feel good on forehand too. This one's pretty flat. Loved it. So I love the Insanity. Kind of fit the spot for the Wraith or kind of like T-Bird slot for just like straight pushing fairway driver. That goes farther than the Crave, so to be distinct on that. So Insanity, love those. Excellent. Next is the slightly overstable fairway slot, which was the Tesla. I love this. Your Thunderbird, almost PD kind of slot, which is just, you can hit it flat, it'll go straight for a long time and have dependable fade. You can flex them a little bit, but love the Tesla. Definitely my favorite straight, slightly overstable fairway driver from MVP. Next is the kind of overstable fairway driver in that Firebird Raptor slot. So I really like the Terra from MVP. Love this. 8.5, -0.3. Excellent for forehand flexes or kind of like hyzer shots, hyzer skip shots. Just something that wants to go left really hard. Love the Terra. The Fireball and the Motion are also in that slot. The Motion I thought was a little too overstable. And then the Fireball just didn't have the feel that I really liked, that I really enjoyed from the Terra. So love that. So next we get into distance drivers, and I would just have to say that distance drivers is the only slot in the MVP lineup that I think is lacking a little bit. I'm sure anyone can find plenty of drivers to throw that they really like, but compared to some of the other bigger brands, I just think they have a little bit less selection as far as like just really good molds like all together. So, but I did find some that I really liked. I found the Relativity, which was a fantastic kind of like, it's 14.5, 5.5, -3, 1.5. So it's like a pretty flippy 14 speed. But you can hyzer flip it to turn and then they'll come back. This was kind of like my max distance bomber. As long as there wasn't any wind, because it can be pretty flippy, and you could get a nice little turnover on it too. So next was the Zenith, which was just like a Wraith, maybe a slightly more stable Wraith. It just pushed straight for a long time and then had a little bit of fade. You could get some little bitty flex, but was pretty straight 11 speed, felt great. Love those. And then last was the time lapse, and I threw the Fission time lapse, which it was a little bit less stable, and I threw the Neutron time lapse both. Both are excellent. The Neutron is, their destroyer mold is what I would say, and it does that good. It's definitely overstable. I found some that were beat that I could flip up a little bit and have them come back. And then like you can flex on them too. So excellent disc. They also had some good like very overstable slots too. So like the Dimension for like headwinds and the Panic were all very overstable distance drivers that I liked, but I just don't use that disc very much. But that's all of them. As a conclusion, Axiom MVP all wrapped up, throwing it for 6 months now, and 10 out of 10 would recommend to anybody. They have a great lineup, a little bit of things for everyone. There are molds that are very popular, like the Proxy, the Envy, the Hex, the Crave, all bangers for sure. And yeah, so I would recommend anyone to grab any of these discs that we had in the bag review and try them out if you're looking for if you're looking to build a bag for Axiom MVP. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment of your favorite Axiom MVP disc and let me know. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.